Hi everybody, Vanessa here from the Craft Greener. So you all got your little presents at the end of the term. So I'm going to open them up and I'm going to show you some different project ideas of what you could make with them. So save the bag, because the bag you can use for a project as well. Make sure you get all of the materials out. So you will have scanned this in to open this video. And we're going to open these out and look at our materials. So we have some felt, we have some origami paper, some ribbon, and we have some card. So the first thing that you can do is you need to gather a few extra materials. I'm going to get a marker, my scissors, and a glue stick. So one thing that you can do is you can make a card. So I'm just going to show you here with this. I'm going to flatten this out, make sure that's creased over. So you can cut out shapes if you wanted to make, say, for example, an Easter card. So I would use this small one here first. I'm going to cut out an egg shape. So an egg shape is round. And what I'll do is, below this video, there'll be some templates of things that you can use, and we'll have some eggs as templates too. So given that it is Easter starting to arrive, it's kind of cute to have a little Easter card. Or maybe Easter bunting. You could cut out a few of these and you could stick them to your twine as well. So you could cut a little bit here, and you do your Easter decoration and then stick it together, see, with that on the back. And then you could create some bunting as well, which would be a really fun idea. You could do them in different colors and we can decorate these in as well. So for these guys, there's a couple of ways you can decorate it. You can decorate it with a marker. So you can do a line like that. You can also use a needle and thread or get mum or dad to help you with this part. And you can sew your Easter card as well. So I'm going to use some embroidery. You can use some thread. So if you want to make the thread thicker, you just double it up. So I'm going to double it up a few times. So they make it nice and thick, or you can use a thick thread to start with. I'm just using what I have here. So I'm going to put it through my needle. And then you can decide how you want to do this. Go from the back. Always start at the back so that your tail sits at the back, and you can do a little knot here if you want to stop it all from coming through. You can tie there. Oops, that didn't go. That wanted to stay, so we'll just hold that there. And then you could do whatever pattern you wanted. So I'm going to replicate this pattern here. I'm going to go and do a zigzag pattern, going up and down, back down into that same hole there, if you see there. And I'm going to go over here. Oops. Over here. Back down into that same hole. See there? And go up here. Back down to that hole, so you're not making two holes. Over here. Back down. So if you're doing this with, if you aren't old enough to use a needle and thread, you can get mum or dad to make the holes for you, and then you can use a kid's needle on this one. So you could do that pattern like so. And you could also do a pattern going around the edge as well if you want to. But first of all, we're going to finish this off. So I'm just going to, this is on the back. See, I'm just catching it in a little bit of the felt. Not going through to the front, just catching it in a bit to hold it. And then chop that off like so. Now, so there you have a little bit of threading. I'm also going to show you how to do it with embroidery thread. So I have a little box of embroidery thread here. I'm going to use some little tail bits. I'm going to pop this through my needle. Now, so I'm going to start from the back and pull it through. And again, you leave a little tail like that. And you could do different threads. So you could do a stitch, which is like a blanket stitch, which you see you go around the edge and you pull it back in like so. See, like that. So you can go all the way around. And don't pull it too tight, because if you pull it too tight, you'll warp the felt. You can just go nice and slowly around the edge. So I go around the edge and then from the underside, see, under, bring it in. Here, do a final stitch going around. And then I do that same thing again where I'm just pulling in. See, I'm just catching a little bit of felt from the back. So I'm just catching through there just to hold the thread without it going through to the front, like so. Now say you had a button. So I save all my old buttons. You might have a button from an old, dress or something like that, and it's fallen off. And we could stitch that down. You can also glue it down as well. You don't have to use the needle and thread. These are just different ideas. So for this, I'm going to come up, going to decide where I want the button to go. I'm going to put the button, I think maybe here. Okay, so I'm going to come up with my thread from behind. Then I go through the button, so find one of the holes to go through. Oh, and this needle's too thick, so I need to get a thinner needle for this. This is a much thinner needle. So if you've never done sewing by hand before, there is another tutorial which I will link below this to show you how to do that. So again, leave a little tail there, and I'm going to pull button up, go through one of the holes, and then go back down through another one, and just go nice and gently because you don't want to pull your tail. So when you come up, try and find another hole, go back down. So this button has 4 holes on it. So we go up again. Oh, it even has a 5th hole there for some reason. I don't know why. We'll just go up, find that hole, so we'll stick with it. Now, and then what you can do is you can go back, see back through there, right? And then with your thread, wrap it around once, back down through the felt. Okay, and then just do a little stitch in behind, just like we did before. So you're going through the fabric, and then we're going to cut it off with our scissors. Now, so there is a little cutout for your Easter egg. And what you can also do is if you want, So whatever way you've done this, maybe you've glued the buttons on. Whatever way you've done it, we are going to cut out a little bit. I'm going to put a little surround on it. So I'm going to put glue on here. So you might use liquid glue, glue stick, whatever you have. Going to leave a little gap all the way around. I'm just going to cut out this here. Now, so I've made a little surround on that, and I'm going to stick this down. So I'm going to put my glue on my back. For my little Easter card that we've made using the felt and the paper and the hard card. And then for here, you can do, for the happy Easter part, you could cut out maybe little arrow shapes. I like to do little shapes like this. Just figure out what space you have. It'll all depend on how big your Easter egg was. So I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to try and get a little arrow shape here, like so. So there, that's not too bad, but I think I want it to be even at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to fold it over like this as well, both ways, so that I can cut that. Now, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to cut out another one. You can see I'm using this one piece of paper for lots of different things. I'm just cutting out around this one. Yeah, so I can stick that for the happy and the Easter, the top and the bottom. Again, for this, I'm just going to check. It wasn't quite even, so I'm just going to go like that. I have happy and Easter. I might want it to be a bit smaller at the top, so you can fold it over. I fold it and just make it a little bit thinner. Oops. Open it out. Yeah, I'm happy with that because there's a better gap between there and there. So I'm going to glue this down. So I'm going to do the happy part on here. If you had stamps, you could use stamps for this. I don't have stamps, so I'm just doing the happy. And then at the bottom, I'm going to have Easter. Easter. Now, so there's a little happy Easter card that you've made yourself using your felt and your paper and maybe some little things that you have in your house.